Welcome. This plant is Huernia schneideriana. It's one of those weird plants that belong to the stapeliad group of plants. Plants that are designed to attract flies as their pollinators. You can see a flower very close to the bottom of one of the stems, and I will show you the flower from up close in a moment. But before that, I would like you to have a look at the entire plant. Look at the stems that are hanging down. They are very long, and in nature, these stems would take roots in the substrate, in the little soil that is in a desert or semi-desert where it grows, and that's how the plant would spread and would create new plants. Here there is no soil where the stems can crawl and when the stems can root, and that's why they are hanging down. So let's have a look at the plant from a little bit closer. So this is the pot from a little bit closer, and if you look at the stems here, you will see that when I put them originally in the pot, I didn't put them in the pot, I put them on the pot, and they took roots. One stem here, one is here that is just that was just laying on the soil instead of being put into the soil originally. And this is exactly what would happen with the stems that are hanging down if they were allowed to take roots in the soil. And here is the flower. The flower is burgundy red, and the color of this plant, of this flower, and the colors of all the stapeliads are designed to mimic a color of a carcass of a dead animal left behind by predators somewhere on the desert. So this one is burgundy red, but there are some other species that would be yellowish or white to mimic the color of the bones or the fat of the animals. This flower is quite small and it doesn't have a smell, but some of the bigger stapeliads flowers have a very distinct smell of rot, very unpleasant smell, but it is a smell that is quite delicious to the flies that are pollinating these flowers. Huernia is a plant that is flowering quite easily, that it has been producing flowers throughout the season, much more abundantly in the summertime, but it did bloom in winter as well. And it always produces flowers from the same spots. So there are certain spots on the stems which are called peduncles, from which new flowers appear consistently. And the trick is for the plant to produce a peduncle, and once a peduncle is developed, the flowers will keep appearing over and over again from the same spot, but it may take a while for a peduncle to develop. For example, here there is a peduncle, and here there will be a new flower soon. And here there is a peduncle with old, dried up flowers, which I don't see a flower buds here, but I can see old flowers fading. And here is a peduncle as well, and there might be new flowers here coming in the future. Stapeliads are quite fascinating, and they are very much worth collecting. However, one needs to have a special room for them, or to collect small specimens that have small flowers, because the bigger ones can fill the entire house with a very unpleasant smell. So one needs to be very determined to keep larger species. I have one that smells, but it is not a big specimen. I have one which is called Orbia variegata, which is a beautiful flower that smells quite distinctly, but not very, very strong. So it is something that I can tolerate. There are some other species, like for example Stapelia gigantea or Stapelia grandiflora, which I tried to have, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, they didn't really agree with the conditions I was able to provide them with. So they just died on me. And I never had a flower of a really big Stapelia. I hope it will happen one day. However, I hope when it happens, it's warm enough for the plant to be outside and attract the flies that are flying in my backyard, and not to make the entire house unbearable for me or anybody else. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you like my Huernia. It's a beautiful plant, and I strongly recommend it to anybody who would like to have an unusual plant in their collection on their windowsill. Have a wonderful afternoon.